Hello, everyone, and welcome to the English Story Podcast. I'm your host, Emily.
And I'm John, happy to be here.
How's your day going, John?
Pretty solid. I got an early start today and managed to cross a lot off my to-do list. How about you?
Same here. I'm feeling great. I'm really excited to chat about today's topic. It's something that we can all relate to.
Absolutely. Today, we're diving into something that's a key part of everyone's life, our daily routines. Whether we realize it or not, routines shape our day from morning to night. They help us manage our time, stay productive, and reduce stress.
Exactly. From the moment we wake up to the time we wind down for bed, routines keep us on track. But our routines can look very different depending on what we do for work or how we structure our days.
That's right. In this episode, we'll share our own routines, how I manage my day as someone working in IT, and how Emily balances her schedule as a teacher. We'll also talk about the benefits of having a routine and some tips for building one that fits your life.
And, as we go through our routines, we'll explain any tricky words that come up, so everyone's on the same page. Ready to get started? Let's kick things off with our mornings. Mornings are a crucial part of the day for me. As a teacher, I need to be full of energy, so I start my day around 6 a.m. The first thing I do is stretch and do a little meditation. It's a great way to clear my mind and prepare for the day.
That sounds like a calm and thoughtful start. I wake up around 7 a.m. and my morning routine is a bit more straightforward. I grab a glass of water right after getting out of bed to hydrate, then brush my teeth and wash my face before checking my emails. Since I work in IT, I need to be aware of any updates or urgent tasks first thing in the morning.
Hydrating first thing is such a great habit. Water wakes you up and gets your system going. I like to keep my mornings low-key, so after my meditation, I have a light breakfast, usually a smoothie with bananas, spinach, and almond milk. Then I'll sit down to review my lesson plans for the day. My mornings are all about staying calm before the busy day ahead.
For breakfast, I'm all about keeping it quick but filling. I usually have some scrambled eggs with toast or a protein shake. After breakfast, I take about 15 minutes to check my work calendar and organize my tasks for the day. Knowing what's ahead helps me feel more in control and reduces stress.
That's so true. Starting the day organized makes a huge difference. I leave for school around 7:30 a.m., but before I go, I make sure to pack a lunch and grab everything I need for my classes. I try to minimize any rush in the morning, so I pack my bag the night before. Having everything prepped keeps my morning smooth and stress-free. It's all about creating a routine that allows me to be calm yet productive.
I work from home a few days a week, so my morning commute is from my bedroom to my home office. But when I do go to the office, I'm usually out the door by 8 a.m. for a 30-minute commute. Keeping things simple in the morning really helps me stay focused on what needs to get done.
All right, before we move on to the afternoon routine, let's quickly go over some key vocabulary we just used. Hydrate. This means giving your body water, which John does first thing in the morning to refresh himself. Lesson plans. These are the daily outlines teachers use to guide their classes. I review mine every morning to stay prepared. Commute. This refers to the time you spend traveling to work. John's commute is 30 minutes when he goes into the office.
Great explanations, Emily. These words come up often, so it's good to know them. Ready to move into our afternoon routines?
Definitely. My afternoons are when I'm in full teaching mode. After lunch, which is usually something light like a salad, I focus on getting through my classes. I try to stay energized by mixing up the activities in each lesson. Some reading, some group work, and maybe a little writing to keep the students engaged. The variety helps me stay fresh, and it keeps the students from feeling bored.
That sounds like a busy afternoon. My afternoons are when I really dig into my technical work. After a quick lunch, I spend most of my time coding or troubleshooting. Coding means writing instructions for computers, and troubleshooting is solving problems or fixing errors in software. These tasks require a lot of focus, so I try to block out distractions as much as possible.
That sounds intense. How do you keep your focus during those long coding sessions?
I use something called the Pomodoro technique. It's a method where you work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. These short breaks help me recharge without losing focus. After 4 Pomodoros, I take a longer break, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. It helps me manage my energy throughout the day, especially when I'm dealing with complex projects.
That's a smart strategy. I think taking short breaks is important no matter what you're doing. It keeps your mind fresh. Between classes, I make sure to step outside for a few minutes, breathe in some fresh air, and then get back into the classroom feeling recharged. My breaks might be short, but they make a huge difference in how energized I feel.
That's a good way to stay balanced. I try to take quick breaks as well, even if it's just to grab a snack or stretch for a few minutes. My afternoons can be pretty packed with meetings or coding tasks, so it's important to keep that energy up. I think the key is to find small ways to keep yourself motivated and engaged throughout the day.
Absolutely. That's why I try to include different types of activities in my lessons. It keeps things interesting for the students and for me. After a long stretch of teaching, I often spend some time organizing materials for the next day. It helps me feel prepared and reduces any last-minute stress.
Before we move into our evening routine, let's break down a few key terms from our afternoon discussion. Coding. This is the process of writing instructions that a computer can understand to perform tasks. It's a big part of my job. Troubleshooting. This means solving technical problems or fixing errors. I do a lot of troubleshooting in the afternoon. Recharge. Taking time to regain energy. We both recharge by taking breaks during the day.
Thanks, John. These words are super useful, especially if you're talking about work or study routines. Now, shall we move on to the evening? Evenings are all about winding down for me. I usually get home by 4:30 p.m., and after a busy day with students, I like to relax. I'll go for a walk around the neighborhood to clear my head, and then I'll cook something light for dinner, usually a pasta dish or a stir-fry. I keep my dinners simple but healthy because I don't want to feel too full before bed.
That sounds like a nice way to de-stress. After I wrap up work around 6 p.m., I head to the gym. Exercising helps me shake off the day's stress, especially after sitting in front of a screen for hours. A 45-minute workout is perfect for me, whether it's lifting weights or doing cardio.
That's great. I'm more of a yoga person, so I'll do a quick 20-minute session at home if I feel like I need to relax more. After that, I'll have some tea and spend time reading or planning for the next day. It helps me unwind without too much screen time, which can sometimes keep me awake longer.
I try to avoid screens before bed, too. I usually relax by reading or listening to music. I aim to get to bed by 11 p.m. because getting enough sleep is essential for staying productive. Sleep is such a critical part of any routine because it sets the tone for the next day.
Same here. I make sure to get to bed by 10 p.m. so I can wake up feeling refreshed. And of course, I always end the day with brushing my teeth and washing my face. It's a small ritual that helps me transition to relaxation mode. It signals to my brain that it's time to slow down.
Absolutely. Having those end-of-day rituals, no matter how small, can really help signal to your brain that it's time to rest. Whether it's brushing your teeth, making tea, or reading a book, these small habits can help you wind down and improve your sleep quality.
Before we wrap up, let's break down some final vocabulary from our evening routines. Wind down. This means to relax and gradually prepare for sleep. We both use this term when talking about our evenings. De-stress. This means to reduce or relieve stress. Walking, yoga, and gym sessions help us de-stress. Ritual. A small, repeated action that helps you form a habit. We both have end-of-day rituals like brushing our teeth and washing our faces. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. We've shared our daily routines, from the early mornings to our wind-down evenings, and touched on the benefits of having a structured day.
Yes, and hopefully, this gives our listeners some ideas on how to create routines that work for them. Remember, a routine doesn't have to be rigid, but having some structure can help you stay organized and feel more balanced.
Exactly. And as we said, make sure your routine includes time for rest and relaxation. It's all about balance.
Thanks so much for joining us today. And a big thanks to you, Emily, for sharing your routine as a teacher.
Thanks, John. It's always fun chatting about these topics. We hope today's episode gave you all some useful tips to try out in your own routines.
Until next time, take care, everyone, and keep building those healthy habits.